Well, that's two big old sweet potatoes. Huge. You know, these probably won't be very sweet. Big ones tend not to be. So we're going to have to do something with these that calls for added sweetener. What could that be? Maybe sweet potato cobbler. Okay, all peeled and washed or washed and peeled and cut up, and I've got them in just enough water to cover them. I'm going to let them cook very slowly. When they're cooked and soft, and if you can see, I slice them pretty thin because these big potatoes can tend to get woody and stringy, so I'm cooking them very slowly, and when they get soft we'll come back and do a little spicing up. Well, it's cooking good and the sweet potatoes are soft. I put just enough liquid to cover the potatoes. Now I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, and for now I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. These were big sweet potatoes. They may not be sweet enough. We'll see how this tastes and I'll come back. Okay, now half a teaspoonful of cinnamon, about a 1/4 teaspoonful of nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of cardamon, turn it down very low and stir. You can see the potatoes are coming apart into pieces. And that's fine. When it cools off a little bit, I'm going to taste it. It may need just a tad more brown sugar. Okay, I'm adding another 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And I'm not giving you an exact amount because you're going to have to taste, because sweet potatoes vary so much in their sweetness. As I said, were really big sweet potatoes, which tend to have less sweetness to them. So if you're using regular size sweet potatoes, it might be, the half cup might be enough. So I'm turning it off now, getting ready to make the rest of the cobbler. And oh my, I almost forgot something. 2 important things. One is an 1/8 teaspoonful of ground cloves, and a teaspoonful of vanilla. Vanilla gives it a, vanilla gives it a really smooth taste. Okay, we're going to finish up our cobbler here and get it ready for the oven. I have here, besides a mixing bowl, a cup of whole milk, a cup of flour, and this recipe calls for self-rising. If you don't have self-rising flour, add a teaspoonful of baking powder and a 1/4 teaspoonful of salt, and sift it in with your 1 cup of all-purpose flour. And 1 cup of, I'm going to say sugar. Full disclosure, this is Splenda. The bread itself in the Cobbler is way more carbs than I need, and I never use sugar. So what I was using earlier was a sugar substitute for brown sugar, and this is Splenda, but you can use the exact same measurements with sugar if that's what you prefer to use. So in here, the sugar, oh, I hope I got a bowl big enough, the flour, and the milk, in no particular order. This is a very easy cobbler. It has been called a crazy crust cobbler. So I'm going to mix this up. I don't want to mix it up too much. Don't want any lumps, but I don't want to beat it because I don't want to make it gummy. And it will get gummy if you beat it too much. I wouldn't mix this with a mixer or with an immersion blender. I would just mix it with a whisk pretty gently until it all gets mixed together. Now in a cast iron skillet, I have 1 stick of butter melting. What I'm going to do is measure out 4 cups of the sweet potato mixture into that skillet, into the butter. And I made more of the sweet potato mixture than I need because I'm going to use it for something else. But I want to put 4 cups in this. I'm going to use this measuring cup. You can see it still has big chunks in it. Plenty of chunks. And if it's too dry, you can add a little more water. Now I may not have any left over. This may have come really close. Now if you're doing this from your canned goods, this is a quart of fruit. And you can do the same one with your peaches, your pears, your apples, your blackberries, your blueberries. So let's spread it out. And let's add our batter. And you just drizzle it over the top. I kind of open it up and let it go down into the potatoes a little bit. I'm going to put this in the oven for an hour at 350, and I'm going to set it on a cookie sheet because it may cook over just a little bit. It'll bubble. And then we'll come back when it's done. Okay, here we have it. Sweet potato cobbler right out of the oven. And if you'll see, it's juicy, has dumplings, has plenty of juice and yummies in it. Now, as to that spice profile that I used in here, that's just what I like. You can spice your sweet potato cobbler any way you like it, and I suggest you do it however you do a sweet potato candied yams to give yourself that flavor. And I'm going to taste this. If it's not too hot. So yummy. Give it a shot. I think you'll like it. Welcome to Debbie's Back Porch. Thank you for joining us.